and wanted to briefly explain how to rangefind in Arma Reforger with the SVD and the PSO-1 scope on the USSR side. The scope is pretty simple, all things considered. But not a lot of people know how to use the little rangefinder in the bottom left. Put simply, in engagements at longer distances, you could choose to just guess, ranging your gun for various distances where you're not likely to actually hit the target. But the rangefinder gives you a different option. By placing your target on the bottom line, marked with 1.7, and trying to fit his head into one of the chevrons above it, you can accurately gauge how far away you are. This target fits quite properly into the 300 meter category, being too big for the 400 and too small for the 200. Ranging our rifle for that distance, we can see that we land a hit, proving that the rangefinder is effective. On the other side of things, we have the American sniper. Unlike the Soviet marksman, the sniper does not feature a rifle with a rangefinder. The M21 SWS with ART2 scope doesn't come with one, just being a very simple 3 or 4 post optic. But you can still rangefind. You have a pair of M22 binoculars, which feature mil ratios. These mil ratios, or mil ratings, are used to determine an enemy's distance, based on how tall they are or how wide they are, while compared to these mil ratios. In order to use them, look at the number marked and multiply it by 10. 1 being 10, and the number below it being 5, not 0.5. Line the target up inside of these markers. You want their feet to be on the very bottom mark, and have their head be where you measure. We can see that this target fits quite nicely into the 5 category. The math is relatively simple. In order to calculate the distance, you take the height of your target, which in Arma Reforger is about 1.7 meters, and multiply it by 1,000. That would be 1.7 multiplied by 1,000, not 170 multiplied by 1,000. You then divide it by the number shown on the mil marker. This is 5. Doing the math, we get a distance of 340 meters, which is about the average ranging for our weapon, so no adjustments need to be made. Pulling the trigger, we get a hit. This proves that the mil ratios are an accurate way of gauging the enemy's distance in Arma Reforger. The alternate way, which is much harder and less consistent, is to line them up to measure the distance between their shoulders by using the bottom line of the mil marker. This is not often practical, being a lot more difficult, but it's worth noting. You can do this with anything that you know the size of. If you know the height of an armored vehicle, you can measure its distance with the mil ratings. If you know the width of an armored vehicle, you can measure its distance with the mil ratings. It's quite useful.